Beer 30 with the Stevens.
It's not my idea at all.
But it goes perfectly with what we're going to talk about today.
Does it?
Yep.
What are we talking about today, Cody?
I don't remember.
Overcoming barriers.
That was clearly a barrier for Sarah to do that. So we just overcame it.
He's intense today. No, I thought, because we've talked about habits.
Yep.
We've talked about reasonable attempts at fitness are A-okay.
Yep.
But a lot of what prevents people from doing anything outside of their comfort zone, the other thing we've talked about, are the barriers. So I think step one is identifying your barriers.
Yes.
And what they are and what's preventing you from moving forward. It's usually not just a general thing, right? Like there's usually, like say, take one new habit you're trying to form. Like my newest habit was working out at 5:30 in the morning, or 5:15 in the morning instead of 5:30 at night. And so I had to build a habit of getting up, that sort of thing. And I knew the barriers that would derail me. I identified them ahead of time. And so things like I didn't have my workout stuff ready, that would derail me. I knew if I hit snooze a bunch of times, I wouldn't have time, and that would derail me. And also just like the feelings of, I guess, being too tired and not wanting to just go and do it.
Or going to bed early enough.
Or going to bed early enough. So
it's been a big one for you.
Yes, so I identified all that at the beginning, right? So I go to bed. I start getting ready at like 8:30. I watch the clock, right? So I do that. I get my workout stuff ready and on the bathroom counter the night before. Cody helped, he supports me. And so he does bedtime with Josie, and they leave me alone when it's time to go to bed, which is awesome.
For the most part.
And then I also started using a Headspace app that has like nighttime soothing sounds and then a little lavender oil. And then I've got like a good bedtime routine. I fall asleep right away. So that's one example of, it's kind of, I don't know, I guess I would describe it as being self-aware of what you know
will stop you.
Yeah. And then putting, in med safety we'd call it a risk mitigating strategy. But you put something in place to prevent that, right? So it's about planning ahead versus just expecting you to all of a sudden be cool with the new habit that's a big pain in the bum. Right?
Yep.
So that's my big one. So now I did it for a month. Now it's habit. And I literally wake up before my alarm almost every morning now.
Yeah. It's true.
At 4:30. My alarm goes off at 4:30 a.m. Even on a day where I stay up late, my brain starts waking up at 4:30. It's crazy. How about you? What's a barrier you've overcome?
Oh, geez. There's plenty of barriers that I haven't overcome.
Why?
I think the big ones for me is the thing that I've talked about most recently is like starting my own YouTube channel, doing something like this, for just talking about me, right? Just about marketing and business and my experience with running and that kind of thing. And I think I always use the excuse, and it is just an excuse of I don't have time, or I just feel like I'm going to look stupid and all of that kind of stuff. And so I think a big barrier for me is I always use that as like I don't have time when I should just schedule the time in, because I do have time throughout the day to do and produce something like this, just like I'm doing now. So yeah, I think that's a big one for me. This lasted a while because I even put it on Instagram and Facebook and said, would you guys like to see something like this? And I think there was like 14 people that said yes.
14?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then there was one person, 14 people who actually answered the question, right? I had one person who said no.
We are influencers for sure.
There was one person who said no, but it was actually just like a spam bot thing that just happened to hit no. Yeah. Had no idea who they were.
No, the time management thing, too, that's huge. Like, I don't have time to do blah. You have time.
Yeah.
If you really are cognizant of how you spend your time, like I know I have additional time. It doesn't feel like it because I am choosing to spend my time unwinding, watching Schitt's Creek, because it's amazing, by the way. That kind of stuff. I'm choosing that. But if I want to be productive, then I wouldn't use that time to watch Netflix. So just being cognizant of that. We love the Hollis Co. and Rachel Hollis and Dave Hollis, and she has a great planner I bought, which actually has you map out has you reflect on quarters as well as months, planning out what needs to happen and your weeks. And that really helped me be a lot more cognizant of like what I need to get done in a given week, where I need to spend my time, and mapping it all out ahead of time. So like Sunday evening should be when you're thinking about your whole week. And I haven't been good about it this last month, but that's really how you avoid the unexpected issues that come up with planning family and life and all of the things, right? Yeah. And evenings are super limited. Part of the reason I started working out early is so I had more time in the evening, but I'm finding I'm just eating up extra evening time with an extra episode of Schitt's Creek.
Yeah. So it's just trying to figure out what the actual barriers are. So it's sitting down and actually doing that self-reflection of what's going to prevent me, because every time you think about something you want to do, almost, for me anyways, almost my immediate thought is, what are all the things that are going to stop me from doing that? And that's what I focus on. But what I need to focus on is those things and how to prevent that from happening.
So what's a tangible example though? Right?
I mean, realistically for me, the tangible example is not wanting, like being afraid or whatever of posting a video like that. And just
like worrying about what other people think.
Yeah, and just reminding yourself, like, and giving you that self-talk of everyone started with, like, at the ground floor, right? Not everybody could get on front of the camera and talk about things, and they weren't super successful. Nobody was an influencer overnight, that kind of thing. So just realizing that and, like, being able to say those words to yourself and just be like, it's better to put something out than nothing at all, right?
Well, and it's positive content. I think, I don't know, there's good and bad about social media, but I think there's plenty of room for people to put out positive, helpful content, whatever that is.
Yeah.
If people are spending a little, like 5-10 minutes listening to us and it makes them smile, or it gives them a negative wisdom, or I don't know, helps you just pass the time, I think that's nice. And it's a lot better than a lot of the negative stuff that seems to really flood social and other places if you let it. I mean, you have to be a little careful with that. There's a lot of craziness on YouTube.
So what do you see that the biggest barrier is for most people, though? Like, what's the...
Caring about other people's opinions.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's one for me. I think it's one for most people, especially the people closest in your life. If you're worried about what they think, it will halt you from doing a lot of things. I think you have to take people's opinions into consideration. And if you are doing something that is hurting yourself or other people, and they have your well-being or others in mind and are giving you some advice, absolutely that should be taken. But if it's just they don't understand and maybe disagree with an approach, whatevs, do your thing, do you. If you're not hurting others or yourself, what does it matter?
Yeah.
Just do your thing, be you. It will be uncomfortable to go outside of your comfort zone and push boundaries and maybe do things that most people don't do. And sometimes you get backlash from that, especially if you're successful, to be honest.
100%.
But whatevs. I think you have to be confident in your own skin and know that where your intentions are. If you're really grounded in your intention and what you meant to do or say, sometimes that doesn't translate well, but and you may hurt people's feelings or offend inadvertently. But I mean, if you can own that, apologize when necessary, deal with those situations. I don't see a reason to overly care about what other people think. I guess in most circumstances, and that's been a hard lesson, and it's really hard.
Yeah.
But really, you just got to do you.
Yeah. And I see this all the time with work, where I consistently tell clients, you need to go on Facebook Live, you need to do Instagram, you need to do all these different things, and it's always that, I don't want to look dumb, I don't know what I'm going to say, I don't know what I'm going to... And it's like, you're the expert in whatever field you're in, and so realistically, you do know it, and you...
They don't have the confidence.
But it's a confidence thing.
I kind of love it when people look dumb or say dumb things. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
We should laugh a little more.
Yep.
Why are we all so serious?
Humor is a good thing.
Whatevs.
But
I look dumb right now. Guaranteed.
No.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, I love you.
I love you too. I don't know. I guess that's it.
Okay.
Cheers.
All right. Take care, you guys.